It's official. The Ministry of Truth has just dropped a bomb that's echoing across the galaxy. This is not a drill. This isn't just some rumor you read on a backwater colony forum. This is a confirmed top-down mandate from Super Earth Command itself. The Helldivers are making the leap into the silver screen, and the first Patriot to sign his enlisted papers is none other than Jason Momoa himself. That's right. The man who ruled Atlantis is about to spread a little managed democracy to the darkest corners of space. Look, we've got official confirmation from the studios, a release date that's stamped and approved for deployment, and a director who gets high-threat squad dynamics better than almost anyone else in Hollywood. The Helldivers movie is happening. It's dropping into theaters in 2027. We are breaking down every single piece of confirmed intel, from the top brass greenlit by PlayStation Productions to the wildly satirical tone they're aiming for. The details are crazier than a bile titan that's just had its morning cup of liberty. Get it? Liberty, the drink? So you're not going to want to miss this official briefing. Before we get to the man of the hour, let's talk about the powers that be. This whole cinematic deployment is a joint operation between two absolute heavyweights, Sony Pictures and PlayStation Productions. This isn't just some low-budget propaganda reel filmed on a backwater planet. This is a full-scale, system-wide strategic initiative. First, let's look at the pedigree, because Super Earth doesn't just pick its partners lightly. PlayStation Productions is the division of Sony that's made specifically to adapt its glorious libraries of games into movies and TV. Now, you have to admit, their track record has been a bit turbulent, to say at best. They're the ones who brought us the Uncharted movie, but they're also the ones that brought us the TV adaptation of The Last of Us. The Last of Us was a harrowing look at a survival against a fungal infestation that feels a little familiar, doesn't it? Well, the first season was a strategic victory. Command reports indicate that their follow-up seasons have been more divisive, though. The Last of Us, for example, saw a significant 55% drop in viewership for its Season 2 finale compared to the triumphant first season, proving that even a successful beachhead doesn't guarantee a flawless campaign. That means that they can get it right, but there's no guarantee of glorious finish. Putting immense pressure on them to not fail at something is basically vital to our culture as Helldivers. Then you have Sony Pictures backing the whole thing. Their involvement guarantees the resources, the global distribution, and the blockbuster scale that a war of this magnitude absolutely deserves. This won't be a limited engagement. This will be a worldwide declaration of our might projected onto every screen large enough to capture the beautiful explosion of a 500-kilogram bomb. The collaboration tells us that this isn't a maybe, it's a top priority. They've seen the numbers, they've seen our dedication. Helldivers 2 sold over 12 million copies alone. That is absolutely insane. That's what all I'm saying here. I mean, it definitely proves the unquenchable thirst for managed democracy across the galaxy. Sony isn't just making a movie, they're capitalizing on a cultural phenomenon. Now let's talk deployment date. The Ministry of Film has decreed this masterpiece will hit theaters on November 10th, 2027. So mark your calendars, patrons. This isn't just some random Tuesday. A November release plants the Helldivers flag right in the middle of the holiday blockbuster season. It's a time for family, togetherness, and celebrating our shared values by watching aliens get vaporized for freedom. They aren't hiding this movie. They're dropping it right into the cinematic war zone, confident that it will win. This date also gives the production team nearly 2 years to get the damn thing right. For a film that's going to need swarms of Terminids and legions of automatons, that timeline isn't just realistic, it's a promise of quality. Finally, let's look at the leadership team. Representing PlayStation Productions, we have Assad Kizilbash and Carter Swan. These are the guardians of the source material who steered the ship for Uncharted and The Last of Us. Alongside them is Hutch Parker, a veteran producer who's worked on huge comic book movies like X-Men, Days of Future Past, and Logan. The man knows how to handle a blockbuster. And crucially, the director himself, Justin Lin, is also producing. When a director is able to produce, it means that they have more creative control. It means their vision is the front and center of the whole project. Super Earth has clearly assembled its finest for this mission. Alright, so let's get to the news that's crashing the whole Galactic Comms channel. The face of this operation is none other than Jason Momoa himself, as I explained earlier in the video. This is a casting choice as bold and impactful as a hell bomb detonation in a bot factory. From the formidable Khal Drogo to the King of Atlantis himself, Momoa is a force of nature on the screen. This immediately tells the public what kind of movie this is going to be, a high-stakes, action-packed spectacle. Super Earth didn't just cast an unknown to be a cog in the machine. They chose a Hollywood titan whose very image screams strength and unyielding capacity for battle. And think about his most recent roles. He's shown a wonderful flair for the charismatic, borderline unhinged characters like in Fast X. That energy, that mix of heroic charm and a wild-eyed intensity is a gloriously unhinged fit for a Helldiver. A Helldiver is a zealot, a true believer who laughs in the face of certain death and screams for liberty as they charge headfirst into a swarm of bugs. Momoa has the charisma to sell that fanaticism. He's also no stranger to game adaptations, by the way, being attached to the Minecraft movie. He gets the passion that comes with these roles, but the moment this news broke, the community channels just lit up. The idea of Jason Momoa wielding a breaker shotgun and calling down an orbital strike is undeniably thrilling, but it also raises a very serious question from a populace that takes its heroes extremely seriously. The core of the Helldiver experience is that every soldier is expendable. You are not a singular hero. You are one of the millions of patriots instantly replaced the moment that you're torn apart, vaporized, or flattened by a misplaced supply drop. So how do you square casting one of the most recognizable action stars on the planet with the theme of disposability? It's a valid concern. You don't see Jason Momoa on a poster and think, cannon fodder. This has led to some fascinating theories. One theory is that he'll be a legendary Helldiver or a grizzled veteran who, against all odds, has actually survived for years. A man who has outlived his own expiration date and now has to train the next generation of disposable heroes. Another popular theory, and this one really lends into the dark humor of Helldivers, is that Momoa could be a high-ranking political figure, and maybe he's the new General Brash, a living propaganda poster, who gives inspiring speeches from the safety of his super destroyer, a charismatic leader who's never actually seen a day of combat in his life. That would be a brilliant satirical use of his star power, in my opinion. But there is a third theory, and it's an even more audacious theory than the previous two. What if the filmmakers go for it? What if Jason Momoa is our main character for the first maybe 15 minutes? Imagine they build him up as the ultimate hero, only to have him unceremoniously killed by a stray eagle strike from a clumsy squad mate. The sheer audacity of killing your biggest star in the opening act would instantly tell the audience that this is not your typical action movie. And get this, there's a strong desire from the creative team to see A-listers serve as high-profile cannon fodder. A hope that burns brightly in the hearts of many fans as well. Now, a soldier is only as good as his commander. And for the Helldivers movie, the vision is being crafted by two interesting minds, director Justin Lin and screenwriter Gary Dauberman. This combo is maybe the most intriguing piece of the puzzle. Let's start with the director Justin Lin. You absolutely know his work. Lin is the architect behind much of the modern Fast and Furious franchise, having directed the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, Fast and the Furious, which was released in 2009, Fast 5, Fast and the Furious 6, and F9. This man is a master of orchestrating jaw-dropping, logic-defying action. Now, just imagine that sensibility applied to Helldivers. The chaos of a four-person squad trying to extract while a Bile Titan closes in. Lin's expertise in high-intensity action seems tailor-made for this moment. Plus, a core theme of his Fast films is family. a chosen family forged through shared trauma. That mirrors the Helldiver squad dynamic absolutely perfectly. He knows how to make a team feel like a real, if dysfunctional, family. Now let's address the elephant of the room. In an interview, Justin Lin actually stated that he's not a gamer. This understandably raised some red flags. The tone of Helldivers is a very specific tightrope walk between jingoistic satire, dark comedy, and genuine horror. The worry is that a director who isn't steeped in that culture might miss the joke and deliver a straightforward, unironic action movie, which would be a catastrophic misrepresentation of the video game. But there could be an upside. An outsider might be more focused on telling a compelling human story within this world, making it accessible to absolutely everybody. The key will be his collaboration with the writer and the PlayStation team. And this brings us to the writer, one of the most exciting aspects of this film, Gary Dauberman. While Lynn is an expert in action, Gary is an expert in horror. He's a key architect in the Conjuring universe, and having written multiple Annabelle films and The Nun, he also co-wrote It Chapter 1 and wrote It Chapter 2. This is a brilliant choice, because beneath the satire explosions, Helldivers is a horror video game. Think about the creeping terror of hearing a stalker shriek just out of sight, or the claustrophobic panic of being swarmed by hunters. Dauberman is the perfect writer to make our enemies genuinely scary. Now fuse these two talents. You have Lynn, the master of explosive action, paired with Dauberman, the master of creeping dread. It's like pairing a 500 kilogram bomb with a jump scare. This combination could be a magic formula, giving us a film that jumps from high-octane battle to a quiet, terrifying moment of suspense. It suggests that producers understand the game's duality. They aren't just making an action movie or a horror movie, they're trying to create the satirical sci-fi action horror film that is Helldivers. Now before we continue this briefing, it's time for a mandatory morale check. If you want to stay up to date on every piece of intel for this cinematic deployment, you need to be subscribed. For liberty, for freedom, for the latest Helldivers movie news, hit that subscription button and ring the notification bell. Your compliance is appreciated, and it tells the YouTube algorithm that my content can be trusted and deployed out to the masses. So what will this glorious epic eventually be about? The official plot is still classified, but it's been confirmed that the film will adapt the game, seeing elite shock troops defend managed democracy against alien threats, and it will absolutely maintain the franchise's satirical tone. This gives us a fertile ground for some approved speculation. The most important comparison that everybody is making is the 1997 masterpiece Starship Troopers. That film is a brilliant critique of militarism and propaganda, disguised as a fun action movie. Helldivers is its spiritual successor. The success of this movie almost entirely depends on capturing that specific self-aware tone. With that in mind, what are fans demanding? First and foremost, the proper respectful and explosive depiction of stratagems. They are the heart and soul of the game. We need to see that moment of a panic as a Helldiver punches in the code for an Eagle airstrike. We need to feel the ground shake as a 500 kilogram bomb detonates with righteous fury. And we need to witness the terrifying beauty of an orbital laser carving a red line of death through a bot army. But it's not just about when these stratagems work. We also need to see friendly fire as well, and they better not chicken out on that. We need to see a rookie accidentally call a mortar sentry right on top of the squad. We need to see a hero get flattened by a well-meaning supply drop right on top of his teammate. This chaos isn't a bug, it's a core feature. And sometimes that feature lands right on top of your buddy's head. To omit it would be to sanitize the whole Helldivers experience. And this leads to a second fan demand. The A-list cannon fodder theory. As we said, it's a brilliant idea. Cast a few huge movie stars, put them on a poster, and then kill them all in a brutal, sudden, and slightly comical ways in the first act. The creative team's own desire for this makes this feel just a little bit possible. And of course, if your big stars are all gone, who does the movie follow? This ties to the third fan hope, a focus on a no-name narrative or even a mockumentary format. Instead of a single hero, what if the film follows a squad of unknowns, reinforcing that these are just regular replaceable citizens? Or what if it's a mockumentary told through interviews with survivors mixed with archival combat footage and propaganda reels? Jason Momoa could be a decorated general being interviewed, recounting a famous battle. This would be a perfect way to deliver the game's lore and satire without being tied to a single character's survival. Alright, so now put your tinfoil capes on because we are now about to enter the realm of unsanctioned speculation. These are the fan theories and deep lore discussions that, while not really confirmed, show just how invested the community actually is. Now, the most pervasive theory has always been the clone conspiracy, the idea that the Helldivers were grown in labs and not born. This neatly explained the endless supply of soldiers. Now, Arrowhead's Johan Pilestedt has officially debunked this, confirming Helldivers are real people with tragic short life expectancies. But wouldn't it be a great twist if the movie revealed that while that's the official story, a secret cloning program does exist to supplement of the volunteer forces? Then there are whispers that the entire war is manipulated by Super Earth itself. Some speculate that termicide, the chemical used on bug planets, is actually an attractant used to farm the bugs to justify a perpetual state of war. After all, a forever war is the most powerful tool for social control. Could the movie really go that dark? And what about its enemies? We fight bugs and bots, but veterans from the First Galactic War remember a third foe, the Illuminati. This advanced alien species is conspicuously absent from the current conflict. Are they pulling the strings from the shadows? Could the movie's third act reveal their return and escalate the war to a whole new level? Finally, Arrowhead has confirmed the game's story, driven by major orders, is genuinely shaped by player success or failure. This has led to a wild idea. Could the movie's plot be influenced by the ongoing player-driven narrative? Could a major victory or defeat that happens in-game over the next year actually get written into the script? It's a logistical nightmare, but what a way to bridge the gap between the game and the film. So let's summarize the intel. The Helldivers movie is confirmed and deploying to theaters on November 10th of 2027. We have Jason Momoa at the tip of the spear, forcing a fascinating question about heroism versus expendability. We have director Justin Lin, a master of action whose biggest test will be nailing the satirical tone. And we have the horror veteran Gary Doberman ensuring the monsters are actually monstrous. The community has made its demands clear. A Starship Trooper tone, a glorious and chaotic depiction of stratagems, friendly fire included, and the brilliant, audacious hope of seeing A-list stars used as cannon fodder. The potential for a groundbreaking video game movie is immense, but the tightrope that they have to walk is incredibly narrow. Can Hollywood, a machine that's built on singular heroes, successfully adapt a story where everyone is disposable? But now the most important voice is yours. The Ministry wants to hear from you. What do you want to see in the Helldivers movie? What is the one stratagem that must be on the big screen? Let us know your enlistment demands in the comments below. For Super Earth, make sure you like this video to show your support and subscribe for all future updates on this glorious project. Now get out there and spill some oil.